Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's a Monday. Oh, what a Monday it is. The 9th of March, 2026. And man, I tell you, you can't tell what's right or wrong or right or left or up or down or black or white. They're lying left all over the place. Guess what, media? You won't be trusted anymore. All right, here we go again. Welcome to the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist. And yes, WTF with the facts, or the best we can do to sort them out anyway. And when those facts make you exclaim WTF, well then, so be it. Anyway, welcome to the Monday edition, and as always, the phone lines are open. I'm going to leave it open anytime you want to call in. I'd love to get your feedback on what the heck is going on with this insane conflict, this war, this massacre. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, right off the bat, you remember the montage of all of the different affiliate stations around the country basically saying, this is incredibly dangerous to our democracy. This is incredibly dangerous to our democracy. Incredibly dangerous. Our democracy. Remember that? And then, oh, yes, it could probably destroy our bureaucracy. Yes, this is a threat to our bureaucracy. We have to maintain our bureaucracy. Remember that? Well, they've started this garbage again. And this time, you want to know what the mantra is? Okay. This is well, I'll let you hear it. Here it is.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term for the long-term.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip.
Hopefully this is a short-term pain.
Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you see what I'm talking about? This is why I have no trust whatsoever for the mainstream media. None whatsoever. They hand out the script, they distribute it out to all of the different pundits and reporters, and they just parrot. You know, I mean, when I was a younger man, and I was getting into broadcasting, we had our, I forget the machine they used to have. It used to print out, from Reuters or from whatever news agency, and we called it the Rip Read School of News or Broadcasting. You'd rip it off the teleprompter and you'd read it. And that's what they get. That's how it works. So I just thought I'd set the table here because this is exactly what's going on. Now, of course, this morning I was watching some of the news broadcasts, and again, I don't trust any of them. But first they said, well, we've lost 4 military personnel in this conflict. And then it became 6. And then as of this morning, they said it's up to 7. So, we're to believe that with all the bombs and drones and missiles and all the stuff that's going on, we've only lost 7 military people. Is that right? Well, we're getting conflicting stories from all over the world that is simply not true. And there are folks out there that are, basically former military personnel, like Scott Ritter, for example. He was intelligence. He was also a weapons inspector, and he's been putting it out. This is insanity. I mean, there's just no way we can win this war. So I got a couple of clips here from Scott Ritter. Let me see if I could pull them up. Oh, I got so many clips happening here. All right, so this first one is from Scott Ritter, and he's basically saying that we've already lost this war. Here's Scott Ritter.
We lost this war. It's over, done, finished. There's not a damn thing we can do to reverse trend. And now they're getting stupid now. They're mobilizing the 82nd Airborne. as we speak. They're sending out warning orders to other units. Donald Trump went from we're not going to have a ground war to today saying, I think it might be a good idea to have a ground war. Well, I will also say this. In 2007, I was at the School of Advanced Military Studies in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, where I had been invited to come in and speak to the student body. And they took me through where the majors were doing up their workup. And oftentimes, like we saw this at the Marine Corps at the Command and Staff College too, major school, you get real world problems. And then they just tell the majors to run with it. And then guys come in and look at it and say, hey, this is pretty innovative. This is innovative. The majors were working a scenario where Iran had attacked Azerbaijan in the United States. We lost this.
Okay, that's part of the clip. There's another piece here where he says Iran is the honey badger, and they just don't give a damn. Here it is.
I think that's where we're at right now. The Iranians, there's the old meme of the honey badger. When they say the honey badger doesn't give a damn. Well, Iran is the honey badger. It just doesn't give a damn anymore. If you want to fight, they'll fight. This is a war to the death. This is not a war of convenience, a war with limited goals and aspirations. This is literally a war of existentialism. Iran is fighting for its survival, and it will take everybody down in this fight. Iran isn't fighting to lose. They're fighting to win. And they know what the weaknesses of their enemies are, and they will continue to exploit those weaknesses. So, again, I don't know what Saudi Arabia expects Iran to do, quiver in fear. No. Iran will destroy Saudi Arabia, and they will destroy the United Arab Emirates. You do that by strangling them economically. And Iran has a plan. Saudi Arabia doesn't have a plan. Right now they're making phone calls through intermediaries to the Iranians saying, please, just let us drop a couple bombs on Fish Island, or we'll drop it off the coast of Chabahar, or we'll pick an empty building. Let us do something to save face. And Iran said, no, it's too late for that.
So the entire Middle East is inflamed now. And getting back to this issue about how many of our troops have been killed, again, for them to say it's only been 6 or now 7, that's ludicrous, just ludicrous. This post, was posted by Joanna's Maria. And there's a woman here that was putting 2 and 2 together, and she actually came up with 4. Listen to this.
You cannot find one article, not one article other than this, that tells you how many dead American soldiers there are. Not one. I double dare you to go and find out. But a plane of dead soldiers, that's all this says. A plane full of dead American soldiers are arriving at Dover Air Force Base. Not a number of how many dead soldiers, and we did not hear about this beforehand like we did with the 6. Why did we not hear about that? Because that's bad news. When I tell you this could be hundreds or thousands of dead soldiers and they're hiding it from us, why hide information if we're doing the right thing? If this is not a war, why hide information, and why are there dead U.S. military soldiers? I want to remind everyone that Congress, the Republicans in Congress, the House and the Senate, the Republicans control Congress. They have voted 8 times for all of these strikes, including this strike that killed these American soldiers and will continue to do so every single day. They could call a meeting at any time to stop killing soldiers. Anytime they can call a meeting and simply vote to stop killing American soldiers. I don't want you to lose sight of that. I don't want you to forget that. This is only day 7, but every single day, this is on Republicans in Congress and our Republican president. A plane full of dead soldiers is arriving at Dover Air Force Base. We have no idea how many are in there or how many others there are.
Yep. And these are the reports that we're getting all over the place. And let's see what else here. Oh, yeah, George Galloway on his podcast, he was talking about the missile strike that took out all those girls in the Iranian school. And, yeah, starts off with a statement by President Trump. And then he was on the airplane, so there's a bunch of background noise there. But you can almost tell. What do they say? How do you tell when they're lying? This is when their lips are moving? Yeah, anyway, here's George Galloway.
According to credible reports and official statements by the Iranian government, that 173 members, officers, and men of the famed Delta Force are in their hands as captured prisoners of war.
Okay, I'm going to hold off right there. I misspoke. I thought he was talking about the little girls that were missiled, unalived by the missile. That's another issue I'll get to. But here he's talking about 173 members of our Delta forces being captured by Iran. I'll let him continue.
And others were killed. What apparently happened was that the United States attempted a military landing, which went disastrously wrong, was ambushed by a superior force of IRGC fighters who killed and took 173 people prisoner. That's quite a haul of prisoners of war from an elite American unit, and now further complicates the entire military situation.
So, if Iran has captured 173 of our Delta Force, and we're not hearing about that in the mainstream, are we? Now, again, I have to qualify this. We don't know what is really going on. There's so much misinformation being put out there. And again, I remind you, and I will continue to do so ad nauseum, that the motto of the Israeli Mossad, and I have to assume the IDF and the entire regime, their motto is, by way of deception, thou shalt make war. In other words, they will lie to you if it suits their purpose. Now, they claim to be God's chosen people, but that does not align with any of the commandments that I'm aware of. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Yeah, God, but except if you're God's chosen people, then you get to do that, right? Well, again, I don't know. I have to qualify that. We have to be very careful. I can't put this out there and say, okay, this is a fact or that's a fact. I'm just giving you the reports, all right? Now, there's another report that apparently the North Korean embassy in Tehran was hit by a U.S. or Israeli bomb. So this is going to escalate, of course, with an inflamed North Korea. Oh, and by the way, over the weekend, China put out a statement, and it was posted out there with subtitles and a translator. And I saved it. I said, okay, I will go back and I will pull this up on Monday when I go to make my clips. Well, I went to pull it up, and it's been deleted. Yeah, they said it violated some rules or something like that. So whenever a Chinese official makes a statement and puts it out there, I guess there are some people that just don't want you to hear what the Chinese are thinking about Israel. And to the best of my recollection, they weren't too kind with Israel. No. They basically brought up the fact that they have lied and they have put out false flags, et cetera, and that Israel, it has to be stopped. So, and that's China. So it's no surprise that China is aligning itself with Iran. So, and that's just the way it is. And again, I point out, I'm going to be a little bit all over the map here, but this is kind of an important report. And this is actually from CNN. Now, all you Christian Zionists out there, all you Christians out there that feel that we have this, undying allegiance to Israel and to the quote-unquote Judaism that they represent, and I put those in quotes for specific reasons, and I'm sure you regular listeners know why. But apparently, Israel is making it illegal for you to talk about Christ. So all you Christian Zionists out there, all you folks that are sending money over to Israel, and I remind you that, I have no trust or faith whatsoever in any of the domestic news sources in this country. I mean, it goes without saying that the alphabet networks, ABC, NBC, CNN, all of those, I mean, we can't expect the truth from them. But like I've said, in the past decade, we've got a bunch of other news networks that have popped up. One American News, OAN, and Newsmax, and Real America's News, and Real America's Voice. I don't trust any of them, and simply because of the fact that, they defend Israel every step of the way, and they still have those commercials out there. I mentioned it last week. The commercials, showing this old woman living in squalor, and she's got an old beat up pot on her little stove, and it's got some beans and porridge in it and stuff, and it's so sad. These Holocaust survivors, they don't have anything. You've got to send Israel money. Send them more money. Yeah, okay. That's why I don't believe any of them. Okay, and if you're a Christian out there, if you are still supporting Israel, then you've got to have your brain tweaked up a little bit. Here is a report from CNN. And remember, what was it, last month or 2 months ago? They flew all these pastors and evangelists and Christians over to Israel and basically indoctrinated them so that they would come back and stump for Israel. If you're in one of those churches, you need to find another church, because they're liars. By way of deception, thou shalt make war. All right, so on one hand, Netanyahu is saying, yes, our brothers and Christians, all over, we all have to stand together and blah, 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 and we support Christianity. However, talk is cheap. It's deeds, not words. So anyway, here's a report from CNN. I was shocked to hear this on CNN. I don't know, maybe their feet are being held to the fire. Anyway, listen to this. If you're a Christian Zionist, if you're a Judeo-Christian, you need to hear this. Here it is.
Conservative Christian leaders are calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop a bill proposed by members of his coalition to make it criminal to tell people about Jesus in Israel.
What?
Our Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen is live near Tel Aviv with more. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everyone. A big story just days before Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter. Sacred time for Christians. 2 ultra-Orthodox members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition have introduced a bill that would punish believers for sharing the gospel of Jesus with prison time. United Torah Judaism Knesset members Moshe Gafni and Yaakov Asher introduced legislation last week making it illegal to share in conversation or produce content online, in print, or by mail. Their explanation of the bill emphasizes a warning to stop Christians in particular. The punishment, 1 year in prison or 2 years for sharing with someone under the age of 18.
Wow.
Joel Rosenberg is the host of the Rosenberg Report and editor-in-chief of All Israel News. He's also a Jewish follower of Jesus.
Obviously, Jewish people don't agree with Christians, evangelicals or others, about who Jesus is, right? We all know that there's a theological difference. But evangelical Christians and other Christians have been so supportive of Israel and the Jewish people. So to silence, to muzzle, and gag even Israelis like myself and others to say, you can't talk to another person about your faith and why you believe it, that is terrible. That is not freedom.
Although he doesn't agree theologically, Netanyahu has always been a strong friend of evangelicals, speaking at meetings and believing freedom of speech and freedom for Israel's small Christian community should be protected. Now, should this bill gain traction, it could spark a serious clash with the 60 million evangelicals in the United States and 600 million around the world. Gafni first introduced a ban on evangelism in 1999. It went nowhere. United Torah Judaism is in a stronger negotiating position now, though, since Netanyahu needs to keep the party in his coalition, or it could threaten Netanyahu's ability to remain in power.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Did you catch it? So Netanyahu tells all the Christians, oh, yes, you're all, we're all united, and we support the Christian community, and blah, 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 blah. But people who are Christians who are over there in Israel get spat on. And the excuse is, oh, it's just a tradition. Oh, come on. If you actually believe that Israel is going to support any Christians at all, then I can't help you. Anyway, I needed to put that out there because, again, if you're supporting Israel, if you're a Christian and you support Israel, You need to get your head examined. Anyway, let's see here. I've got just one post after another, people talking about the Epstein war. That's what this is all about. I'm going to stop for a second here. Think about this. Now, in the past, actually 10 years now, ever since the Anthony Weiner laptop got released, and the Hunter Biden laptop got released, and now the Epstein files have got released. And now we're finding out that Epstein may not even be Epstein, at least not the Epstein that they took out of the prison cell, because the one that they took out of the prison cell when they did the autopsy had a prostate. But according to the Epstein files, the real Jeffrey Epstein had a prostatectomy, whatever you say it. He had his prostate removed, and they don't grow back. We covered that last week. But anyway, the point is that they're going to lie and lie and lie and lie. And you can't trust any doggone thing that they're saying. So let me see. This was a post from the MAGA cult slayer. And basically, I'm inclined to agree with this guy. Oh, the point that I was going to make, I got myself sidetracked there for a second. If this is indeed about the Epstein issue, about all the stuff that's coming out. And yes, that is linked to the child sacrifice, the cannibalism, the adrenochrome, the Talmud, all of this stuff. We're talking about an organization, a group of individuals who openly and admittedly worship Lucifer. And again, the creation of Israel. You go back to the Balfour Declaration of 1917. It was the brainchild of the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are open Satanists. They're open Satanists. Now, it's not just the Rothschilds, though. It's all the other families that have been involved with these bloodlines that go back thousands of years. This is a cult, a very, very powerful global cult. And yes, Israel is right in there because the state of Israel was created by these monsters. So the point is that if this is a power structure that's been around for millennia, you're not going to take it down by just taking out Israel. No, that's not going to happen. Okay, if we're going to take down a cabal, a cult that has taken over basically the entire West. If you think about it, if they've taken over the entire West, they're not going to go down without a fight, and it's not going to be an easy fight either. So, going after Israel, they say, is saving Israel for last, taking off the head of the beast. Yeah, well, that's all well and good and all that, but there's a lot more work to do. And it's, taking down the entire global financial system, which has been controlled by these 13 families. So, we got some real tough stuff going ahead of us here. How it's going to work out, I don't know. But I do know, and I believe with every fiber of my being, that we are witnessing a classic battle of good versus evil on a global scale. And it's just getting started. So, anyway, so what's Israel going to do? Oh, by the way, Benjamin Netanyahu's brother has been killed. His house was targeted by one of these missiles, and they took him out. And Israel is suffering huge casualties in all of the official capacities and all the official positions. So anyway, here's a gentleman here. Again, this was posted by MAGA Cult Slayer, and he's basically saying that Israel is planning to start nuking people. Not good. Listen carefully.
We have some scary news coming out of the Iran war right now. The most holy city in Shiite Islam is a city called Qom. This is where all the Ayatollahs go to school for years and years. Now, that entire city with hundreds of thousands of people has had leaflets dropped over the entire city by Israel, telling them that they must immediately evacuate the entire city up to 17 kilometers away. Why would they be doing this unless they intend to do something with massive devastation. Now, the United States just moved the Doomsday Plan into the Middle East, and that plane is set so that the United States president can issue nuclear launch codes to nuclear submarines in order for them to do some sort of an attack.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. Again, I point out the simple fact that a lot of people are calling this the Epstein War, because so many of our members of Congress, the Senate, presidents going back years have been involved in these horrific satanic rituals and activities. And it's not just people in government, people in Hollywood, entertainment, television, movies, people in agriculture, big pharma, big oil, all of the major industries. So many of them are up to their eyeballs in this type of activity. And yes, many of them have been either paid off, they've been blackmailed, or they've been threatened. And this is how there's a stranglehold on every single one of them. And like I said, with cleaning house, I don't know how we're going to do that. But anyway, I'm going to let this guy continue.
The suspicion is that because the Fordo very hardened site, which is where they do a lot of their nuclear enrichment, which is buried under a mountain near the city of Qom, is going to be attacked with not a bunker buster, which was the traditional way that you would attack something like that, but because it is so hardened that they are considering using a tactical nuclear weapon. This is an absolutely insane thing to have to report. The United States and Israel could very well be getting ready to nuke Iran.
That's where we're at, folks. And meanwhile, there are bombs and missiles going off in the surrounding countries, and Iran is basically calling out Israel and saying, "Look, you guys are pulling this off. You're blaming us for these missile attacks, but we're not doing it." Now we know that Iran, rightfully. I don't know if it's rightfully or not, but I mean, when they're being attacked and bombed, they have to defend. They have the right to defend themselves, don't they? I mean, Israel does. Palestinians don't. No, that's another issue altogether. But Iran, they get to defend themselves. And if the radar systems and missile systems in the surrounding countries, if the United States has all of these military bases, the military bases become targets. And anyway, the point is that there are some targets that have been going off in other surrounding countries that Iran does not claim responsibility for. They're saying Israel's doing this to inflame the entire region. And again, I wouldn't put it past Israel. They are known for their false flags. And I mean, as time has been coming, time has gone by, we find out that Israel has been involved in so many major disasters, assassinations, terrorist attacks, etc., for decades and decades and decades. As a matter of fact, Stu Peters, and I don't put all my eggs in the Stu Peters basket, believe me, but he made the following statement, and I'm inclined to agree with most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. Here's Stu Peters.
This is a serious mask-off moment that every single person in this country should be paying very close attention to. This should be like a 6-alarm fire blaring between your ears, telling you, wake up, danger, get out, break free of the conditioning, and stop allowing these traitors to tell you what to think and tell you what to believe. This is when you need to realize that you're living underneath an occupied government that serves a foreign nation. Donald Trump is straight up telling the world on camera over and over again that this is a war for Israel. He can't name a single American who has been killed by the Iranians because that hasn't happened. Iranians aren't the ones who for decades have been killing Americans to drag us into wars in the Middle East, into wars for their own territorial expansion. That has been Israel. The Iranians aren't the ones who blew up American installations in Egypt, blamed it on the Muslim Brotherhood, and then dragged us into a war for them all the way back in the 1950s. That was Israel. The Iranians aren't the ones who blew President John F. Kennedy's brains out on camera in broad daylight for the entire world to see. That was Israel. The Iranians aren't the ones who bombed the USS Liberty. That was Israel. The Iranians aren't the ones who parked a moving van in view of the World Trade Center so they could film its demise and the deaths of thousands of Americans and then throw an impromptu dance party in the street. That was the Israelis. And of course, the Iranians aren't the ones who have nuclear weapons aimed at the United States and the entire Western world for that matter. That's Israel too. Israel is the biggest threat to the United States. Israel is the biggest threat to world peace. Israel is the biggest state sponsor of terror in the entire world. Iranians aren't flying into the United States and raping mentally disabled American kids before flying home and getting off scot-free.
Remember that last year? Yeah. One of the Israelis was in Las Vegas and he got caught. And immediately he was whisked away back to Israel. So anyway, all right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get More Tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page. It'll take you down to a window where you can click on Get More Tank and find out all the specifications and details on how and why this fuel catalyst works. Not an additive, a catalyst. It makes your engine burn the fuel much more efficiently. Your engine runs cleaner. It gets more power. And the moneymaker is the fact that you're going to see an increase in your mileage. Now, no matter what your vehicle is, of course, it depends upon your make, model, year of vehicle and your driving habits, of course. But you can see anywhere between 15 and 20% increase in your gas mileage, which translates to money in your pocket. And with what's going on in the Middle East right now, and the Strait of Hormuz being shut down, oil's already over $100 a barrel. Gas prices are going up daily now. And, hey, look, at any way that you can save money on fuel, it's a no-brainer, folks. Get More Tank. Give it a shot. I promise you, this stuff will make you a convert, a believer. So it's only $20 when you use the promo code. You get 5 tablets, 1 tablet per tank. Well, the first time you use it, you put 2 tablets in to condition the engine. But after that, you spend $20, you get 5 tablets, 1 tablet per tank. And if you're getting 20% better mileage, that means your 5th tank is free. Do the math. It's a no-brainer. So, yeah, go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and get more tank. Okay, 39 minutes past the hour, whatever hour you're sitting in. And, the phone line is open. If you're pro or con this Persian Gulf conflict, whatever you want to call it, want to hear from you. 215-867-8255. All right, getting back to this issue about the elementary school in Iran that was hit by a missile. And, of course, the United States is denying any responsibility whatsoever. But that was like a week ago. And since then, they've been able to go in there and clean up a bit and pick up debris and pieces of the explosive device. Okay, well, first off, again, I was talking about this audio clip a little bit earlier in the show. Here is President Trump on the plane. I guess it's Air Force One. And he's asked whether or not the United States bombed a girls' elementary school. And then Trump passes it to Pete Hegseth, who was right over his shoulder. And then we're going to go on the scene at the bombing site where one of the international members of the press are picking up debris and identifying it. Okay, here's President Trump.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Okay, he says from what he's seen, that was done by Iran, and Hegseth is saying that they're still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
Oh, he says the only side that targets civilians is Iran. I'm choking on that one. It seems to me that Israel's been doing that in Gaza for how long now? Since 1948. He says the only side that targets civilians is Iran. Yeah, liar. I mean, you expect us to swallow that?
What kind of fool do you think I am?
Yeah, really. Okay, well, let's carry on now. You just heard what Trump said and what Hegseth said. Now we're going to hear from one of the reporters on the scene picking up debris at the site where all those little girls were blown to pieces.
We think it was done by Iran.
Trump, this is a very clear and undeniable evidence of your genocidal attack on this girls' elementary.
Okay, I'm going to pause it. She's showing a piece of debris and it says Ball Aerospace on it. That's a U.S. firm.
School in the Minop city. Stop playing innocent and don't think people of the world are stupid.
Okay, there's another one there. 1999, Raytheon Company.
We as journalists and documentary filmmakers are here to document the evidence of your genocidal
Okay, Globe Motors in Dayton, Ohio.
attacks here on this girls and boys elementary school in Minop city. So the whole world would see genocide you committed here.
Mm-hmm. So, was it the U.S. that launched the missile, or was it Israel that launched an American-made missile? Now, we know that Israel gets all of its hardware. I mean, we send them $3.8 billion every year, and then that money bounces back into the pockets of the military-industrial complex. So, yeah, in a roundabout way, that money goes over there, and then a lot of it bounces back over here. And this is exactly why I've been saying it for a long time. You are addicted to war.
Recognize
If you're committed to your cause, you break the rules and ignore all the laws. A war on freedom, so you say, but then you take our rights away. You think that you have us deceived, yeah. You celebrate while so many others grieve. You think that we don't see your goal. The thing you want is world control, yeah. Subtly betraying the allegiance you swore, oh yeah. Counting up the casualties like you're keeping score. Yes, you're a cancer to your country. You're addicted to war. You're a death merchant junkie. You're addicted to war. And the whole world recognizes you're addicted to war. You're a cancer to your country. You're addicted to war. Yes, you're gonna have to face it. You're addicted to war. Yes, the whole world recognizes you're addicted to war. You're a death merchant junkie. You're addicted to war. You're a cancer to the world.
You're addicted to war. You're a death merchant junkie. Addicted to war. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's deeds, not words. I talked about it a long time ago. You put up a star of David. You put up a cross. You put up an Egyptian ankh. You put up a crescent moon with a star. And you put up a $sign. And then ask the question, which one do you worship? And if it's deeds and not words, I think we all know the answer. Money is their god. Dross. Okay? Anyway, moving on. Let me see. A post by Carrie Burgess has an interview by one of the Iranian officials. I don't know what this gentleman's name is, but I'll just let you hear what he has to say.
We understand that the Assembly of Experts is trying to appoint a new supreme leader. Could a new leader, do you think, negotiate with Trump and agree to his terms?
No. Iran is not interested in negotiating with Trump or the U.S. regime. Iran is going to punish the United States, and we are in the process of doing it. This regime in Washington has tried to cross a bridge that's a bridge too far, and they're messing with the wrong country. We're not Venezuela, we're not Iraq, we're not Libya, we're not Afghanistan, and we're not Syria. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we will make sure that the United States regrets the aggression against the Iranian people and the slaughter of children and the slaughter of innocent civilians and the murder of the leader. These are crimes against humanity, and the United States and its allies have imposed the law of the jungle upon the world, and they will come to regret it.
Yeah, they will. You know, the thought occurred to me that maybe this is a roundabout way of getting Israel off of the map. Because everybody now knows that Israel is pulling the strings. Everybody knows that Israel has basically co-opted or commandeered or pulled a coup d'etat here in the United States. It's no secret. I mean, I know they can say all they want, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, I call them the Anti-Defecation League because they're full of crap. But, what's his name? Not Greenwald. I can't remember his name, the head of the ADL. It doesn't make any difference. The bottom line here is that they say that if you say anything against Israel, you're an anti-Semite. Yeah, we already got that. Yeah, But the point is that, this whole effort by Israel to take over our country, well, it seems that, if we take out Netanyahu, Netanyahu's brother was just killed. And if Netanyahu, nobody knows where the heck he is right now. They're saying that he's on and spends 90% of his time on a plane going from here to there, so they don't know where he is. So anyway, oh gosh, it's just what a mess. What a mess. Now there was a statement being made by one of the Iranian officials here, and I don't know what his name. Let me see here. Iran is accusing Israel of carrying out massive false flag operations against Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Cyprus, and they're pinning the blame on Iran. But it doesn't make sense that Iran would want to hit those countries. Iran claims it never launched any missiles toward those countries and says Israel was responsible. And there's a statement there, quote, "We have consistently warned against false flag operations," unquote. Now, what country is known for its false flags? Well, we just heard a little while ago Stu Peters' contribution to that particular argument. And like I said, I agree with almost everything that he was saying in that. But anyway, here's the statement. I'm going to have to read the subtitles here. Let me turn the volume down so I don't confuse myself. Okay, here it is. He says, regarding the Republic of Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Cyprus, the General Staff of the Armed Forces explicitly and officially announced that there's no such projectiles were launched from within Iran or by our military forces. As for Cyprus, even British officials confirmed that no such incident took place. We have consistently warned against false flag operations. Let us not forget, there is a rogue regime in the region with a long history of such actions. The Lavon Affair, Operation Susanna, in 1954 in Egypt, is a well-known case of how the Zionist regime attempted through sabotage to drive a wedge between countries. Recently, reports have emerged that in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, they were engaged in sabotage operations. We call on all countries to exercise caution before drawing conclusions about developments in the region. Hasty statements are not in the interest of friendly relations between countries of the region. Last night, a productive conversation took place between our president and the president of Azerbaijan. It was confirmed that no such action was taken by Iran, and we hope Iran's goodwill toward its neighbors will be taken into account. At some time, our passion remains clear. At the same time, our position remains clear. Sorry about that. From wherever a military threat against Iran may arise, our response, let's see here, our response, it just paused. Our response remains faithful. There it is. Okay. Anyway, I had to pause it. So, it just makes sense. Shall I say, for Iran to be hitting the surrounding countries, that does not make sense. Granted, they are hitting the U.S. military bases that are located in some of these countries, but the targets are the military bases of U.S., not the countries themselves. So it makes sense in what he's saying. Oh, my gosh. Let me see here. What else have we got? Here's another statement from another one of the Iranian officials. And again, I have to translate. Let's see. Here it is. It is expected that the governments of Muslim countries will swiftly warn the criminal United States and the savage Zionist regime against such cowardly anti-human actions, so that the flames of fire and war, the flames of fire, he goes so fast, wait a second, do not spread, and otherwise similar actions will occur in the something, and I cannot, and if you can tolerate oil prices over $200, oh my gosh, they talk so fast. Okay. Sorry about that. I can't keep up with the translation on that. So, but anyway, they're basically coming clean and saying, "Look, we didn't do that. This is not what we do." So, and I believe them. I believe them. It's Israel, Netanyahu. They have a very clear and consistent track record of pulling off false flags, and Anyway, okay, we got about 5 minutes left here. Let me see. There was another clip I had. Oh, yeah. This guy, basically, I had to edit this because if things are going the way they're going, we're screwed. And you could substitute another word for that. But anyway, here's what he had to say.
So Trump has already lost this war, and America is going to feel this for decades and decades and decades. It's going to change the balance of power all over the world, okay? And at this point, he has 3 options left, and only 3 options left. The first one is a retreat. Get the fuck out and retreat. If he does this, America loses all credibility. It loses all of its power, and it probably loses the dollar as well, particularly with any kind of like petrodollar sales or anything like this. Done. Not a good option. The second option, boots on the ground and full-fledged ground invasion. Again, a hideous option. We were in Afghanistan for 20 years and spent, $3.5 trillion, right? And that was against 40 million people. Iran is 93 million people, much, much, much bigger, and they've been planning for this for 4 decades. Just unbelievable. There's absolutely no way that this is going to go in the favor of the United States. This is an absolute, destructive idea for any American president to choose. And the third option, no better. Nuclear. Catastrophic. Could literally just, destroy civilization. Light the entire world on fire. Trump is fucked. America is fucked. America is going down. And here's the thing, man. These Gulf Coast countries with their military bases, this was the most strategic thing that Iran did. And now with their strategic apology, opening up the door, saying you're all brothers, we're only striking these American targets because we had to, this and that. They've opened up the door for these Gulf countries to pick a side. And it's about time that they picked a side, right? And the reality is this. If they pick the side of the United States and the United States falls, all of those countries fall too. And they know this. They can do nothing without the might of America. They have been cajoled and bribed into taking these U.S. military bases into their countries and being dominated and controlled by America. And if America falls, they fall with America. That's just the reality of the situation, right? If they take the side of Iran and America wins, well, they're fucked there too, right? So these people are in a seriously big bind. I'll tell you this, they're going to pick Iran because anybody who has any sort of freaking brain in their head. So Trump has already lost this war.
He was just about done anyway. Well, like I said, a lot of people are calling this the Epstein War. I mean, if they have to make a distraction, take note of how big the distraction is and how big it is that they're trying to distract you, or what it is they're trying to distract you away from. And that should give you an idea of how important and how big the scandal of the Epstein files, how big that scandal is. Because that is attached to everything, folks. Everything. So people are going to have to roll up their sleeves, get involved somehow. I mean, I don't understand. They were out there protesting, the shooting of Renee Good, but they're not out there protesting against the pedophiles. Well, some places in Hollywood are. Yeah, they're out in the streets. But we should be too. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the Monday edition of the WTF Reports. I hope you enjoy the program. If so, please click like, share, subscribe, make a comment, and above all, share it with your friends and family. All right, that's going to wrap it up. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. So until then, God bless you all. Stay safe, stay free, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Anymore.